PUP Orange Walk South Area Representative Abelardo Mai has been ordered to pay over $200,000 to the Arana family. That's because the politician knocked down 59-year-old Julia Arana in April 2016, and about 2 months later, she died. And since last year, her son, Nisan Arana, filed a civil suit asking the court to award damages to the family. Today, the court decided that Arana's family should receive more than $200,000. The Arana's attorney, Sheena Pitts, explains.
The outcome was as clear as day from the day the accident occurred. The court found Abelardo Mai 100% liable. The court also found that as a result of the injuries sustained, that is what caused her to die. So he did not only knock her down and cause her severe head and body injuries, he also caused her death from those injuries, and the court pointed out. And we are forever grateful for the assistance of Dr. Sanchez, a trained pathologist for more years than you can imagine, who showed us that death certificate prepared by Dr. Ken was so erroneous beyond logic, and that the only reason why the deceased died is because she suffered those injuries. So we are grateful to Dr. Sanchez for that. We're still taking instructions is on quantum. The court awarded the claimant $175,000 for general damage, that is pain and suffering and loss of amenities. The court also made awards in relation to gratuitous care, loss of earnings, and special damages. Also, loss of expectation of life. It's about between $220,000 to $230,000 with interest. So interest is accruing.
Back in July, Mai maintained that he was not responsible for Arana's death.
I have absolutely no fault in the accident. It was unavoidable. I did what I could have done. I was not speeding. I was not under influence of any substance, and I maintain that.
Mai's defense, according to Pitts, simply didn't hold up in court today.
Basically, the defense's case is that the deceased run into this vehicle, or as we would say in layman's term, that the deceased knocked down the car and not the other way around. That is what it appeared the defense was in this case, in that it was not the defendant who was responsible or knocked down the lady, but that the lady, the deceased, Julia Arana, was the one who ran into the vehicle. And in relation to quantum on the defense part, their original proposition is that what ought to be awarded is between $15,000 to $20,000 for pain and suffering and loss of amenities. But what was carefully analyzed and examined in this matter is the kind of injuries, the nature and extent of it, and the kind of effects of those injuries on the deceased. Mr. Mai gave several versions of what happened that day. And we isolated 2 of the many versions to show the court that they are so inconsistent. That is why the court has said that if we take one version, that version being that he didn't see her right up until the moment of collision, then that shows that he was negligent in that he was not keeping a proper lookout. And it's a highway where the area, there was the gas station, there were homes nearby, people were around in the locality. In that area, you ought to be aware. You ought to exercise that responsibility that you have. And the judge also found that he was in fact speeding. So all of those other aspects of evidence is what assisted the court to come to the final conclusion that there is no contributory negligence on the side of the deceased, and that Mr. Mai is 100% liable.
But is this the end of this case? Attorney Pitts says that's left to be seen as both parties can appeal.
We can't celebrate just yet. You know, we have to wait for the order to be finalized, perfected. We also have to give the defense time in case they want to appeal. They have 21 days. And as I've said before, I am still taking instructions because the claimant can appeal too. You were in there and you saw the differences in our approach in terms of quantum. For the claimant, our claim for quantum was marked markedly higher than what was awarded, and the claim on the defendant's end was markedly lower than what was awarded. So both parties are open to, if they choose to appeal based on how low or how high the award is.
Reporting for News 5, I'm Andrea Polanco.